The super middleweight World Boxing Super Series tournament side is dead, bro. It didn't go as planned. If you haven't heard, Juergen Braehmer pulled out of the Callum Smith fight. And we back. It's your boy CJ Goodfella back with the Boxing Clinic. Shout out to Chart Powers of Boxing. I first seen it on his page and did some investigating. And the World Boxing Super Series, they are smart. They have replacements on deck. And he's being replaced by a dude from the Netherlands that's a real respected kickboxer. You know, he's like 13 and 0 and 10 knockouts and 30-something years old. You know, it ain't going to be what it was. You know, Juergen Braehmer, this was a good fight in my opinion. And the tournament is done. It's wrecked. You know, it really is because George Groves injured his shoulder. And I think it's really, really bad. He injured his shoulder late in that Eubanks Jr. fight. And some people didn't realize it. And he still finished on his feet. So, you know, they may not wait for George Groves. So you can have Callum Smith fighting 2 replacement fights. He gonna get the money, but he don't get no clout or no respect because he didn't beat anybody in this tournament. He didn't get the opportunity to beat Eubanks or Groves yet. So it's just dead. It's a dead situation. And it wasn't even a round robin tournament like the Super 6. This was a single elimination tournament. You got Groves got injured. You got Juergen Braehmer. He was dealing with a fever or illness for the last several days. And, you know, wish they could push it back, but they can't. They already got a venue locked in. And maybe this may be a blessing in disguise for the World Boxing Super Series tournament. Because I say this because, you know, Callum Smith can beat this kickboxer guy, you know, if he can beat him. You can bring Juergen Braehmer back for the finals. If George Groves isn't ready, George Groves just missed the opportunity, but George Groves has a good fight on the horizon with Billy Joe Saunders. Frank Warren wants to match him up with Billy Joe Saunders. And I think that's a far enough time for Groves to get healthy. And I explained that in my video yesterday, or late last night, early this morning. I think I explained that because, you know, Triple G, it all depends on what Canelo and Triple G does. If Canelo beats Triple G, Billy Joe Saunders may elect to, you know, get a warm-up fight at 168. I don't see him, you know, unifying with, you know, Charlo because in that situation, the WBC belt will go to Charlo or Hugo Centennial Jr., whoever who wins the interim title next week. Because Canelo is not elected to fight for the WBC. We already talked about that. He didn't fight in the first fight. He's not fighting in the second fight. And if Golovkin wins, that means Billy Joe Saunders is going to fight him in the UK. And then, you know, however that happens for him, then potentially he can move up, you know, fight Mark Murray. Fight, you know, George Groves. And I think he's going to, you know, eventually retire. He plans on retiring after, you know, I guess he becomes two-weight division champion. But Callum Smith, at the end of the day, I know fighting for Anthony Dirrell looks way better now. Because, you know, if he fought Anthony Dirrell, David Benavidez never would have been champion. He probably would have beat Anthony Dirrell. I asked Anthony Dirrell about Callum Smith in New York when I was out there for Jacobs and Triple G. He didn't sound too confident about facing Callum Smith. That don't mean nothing, but still, I think Callum Smith would have got the victory. Perhaps it would have been a tough fight. If he did get the victory, he'd be lined up for a David Benavidez fight right now, probably. So, you know, God, you know, makes things happen for a way. But I think this may be a blessing of disguise if they don't plan on waiting for George Groves because they want to start the next tournament they want to do. And I don't know what weight they're going to pick, but obviously I don't think it's going to be junior middleweight because they picked junior middleweight first, and none of the fighters wanted to fight each other. So then that's how they got the cruiser and super middleweight. Cruiserweight went as planned. Cruiserweight has been probably one of the greatest professional, you know, tournaments of all time. And, you know, it's lived up to the bill. It lived up to the hype, in my opinion. You know, for those who love, you know, cruiserweights. And you got, you know, Gasby and Usyk in the finals. I pick Usyk to win, but I might like you know, Gasby now. Gasby is a tremendous fighter. And he got a tremendous composure, but, you know, Callum, you know, bad luck. You know, he got a replacement. I mean, he might have an easy road. He might end up still fighting Juergen Braehmer if they smart. He still might end up fighting Juergen Braehmer if Groves, you know, isn't healthy enough. The shoulder injury, Groves ain't gonna be back for a long time if the shoulder is real bad. The shoulder takes real time to heal because the shoulder is composed of a lot of small bones, and that's a real tricky heal. You know, and then plus you don't want to come back in finals versus a threat like Callum Smith, you know, with a gimpy shoulder. And Callum Smith has been inactive already. So I believe that if, Sutherland and Richard Schaefer are smart, they bring back Juergen Braehmer for the finals and salvage the World Boxing Super Series tournament somehow. But it definitely flopped at middleweight with the injuries. And, one of these tournaments is going to have injuries. I mean, that's what the numbers tell us. But, I think they could salvage it. And, I pick Callum Smith to win the whole thing. And that's looking beautiful right now, right? So let me know what y'all think. This TBC and more. We out.